Hello, my name is Stanley Scott. I'm with the African American Economic Recovery Think Tank. Tonight, I had on my hat. Yes, I got my hat on because we're gonna drop it down. We're gonna drop it down. We're gonna get real with it. I got my A. Philip Randolph. For those who are not familiar, A. Philip Randolph is one of the greatest African organizers ever in America. Let me say it again. A. Philip Randolph, out of Jacksonville, Florida, the east side, is the biggest organizer I ever read about. Let me say I ever read about. And so far from the history show, that he's the best organizer ever in America, especially for African Americans. So, do your research, educate the family, educate the community, especially if you're right here in Jacksonville, Florida, especially if you're African American. You need to know about A. Philip Randolph. Often you hear about James Weldon Johnson. For some reason, when it comes to African American, we get stuck. For years on the same person. Every year, we celebrate the same person. Why do we do that? I'm just trying to understand why we do that. With all this history out here, I'm talking about African American history. Why are we still dealing with it this way? And that's something that African American historians must research. Why are we always talking about James Weldon Johnson? He have done great things in Jacksonville, Florida, and the United States for African Americans. He's not the only one though. And for some reason we get stuck on 3 or 4 people as if that's our history. I have to ask the question, who controlling the narrative? Are you saying African Americans are lazy? Well, when it comes to education, what I'm talking about. When it comes to education, don't research. Last time I checked, most of us had cell phones. I'm talking about African Americans. Africans in America. Most of us have cell phones. Why? For some reason, we continue to pull out the same people every year. Also, when it comes to history, what about living history? We never talk about that. We have people now in America that we are not conscious of. I'm talking about African Americans who are doing great things. When it comes to civil rights, I'm not talking about building wealth. I'm not talking about wealth because there are different types of wealth. We'll talk about that later. But right now, what I'm talking about, there's a few African Americans out there when it comes to civic engagement, dealing with City Hall. We don't never talk about them. We ain't concerned about that. So a lot of things that's going on in the African American community, and yes, it's self-inflicted. And when I say self-inflicted, that means most of the time we're dealing with the negative. We're not highlighting the positive, especially when it comes to history. Yeah, every time we talk about history, we talk about the past. What about the present, people? Yes, because right here in Jacksonville, like I said, we got A. Philip Randolph. He helped put together and organize the Watch on Washington. Huh? Yeah. A. Philip Randolph organized the Pullman Railroad. In so many words, you could say he ran it because without African Americans, they would have failed. Without the pollers. Let me say the pollers for the Pullman Railroad. It created many opportunities for African Americans to get paid a fair wage. A fair wage during that time. Now look today. Last time information I read said we have regressed as a people, meaning compared to a Caucasian with a high school diploma, right? We make 53 cents on the dollar compared to a Caucasian with a high school diploma. Why is that? With all this technology today, why is that? So you don't we're not having those discussions in the African American community. We keep with these non-profit events. We're not even talking about economics. Now there's African Americans who are making money or perpetuating racism. That's what they do. I know who they are. Right here in Jacksonville, I know who they are. But they are never in City Hall. Now they may come to City Hall to City Council meeting, but I'm talking about when they come to committee meetings where they should be advocating for the community. They are nowhere to be found. Let me say it again. And some of them, most of them, are seniors that don't work, are retired. Let me put it that way. I don't want to say don't work because some fool out here will talking about they don't have a job. No, they retired from a lot of them. There's enough to show up in these committee meetings to address the issue in the community. But once again, the community activists don't show up. They are reactive to everything going on. Let me say this, because when they come to City Hall, it's a process. Now, they be breaking the law and all that because ain't nobody there to hold them accountable. But still, it's a process that they go through. And you have ample opportunity to be heard. Now, when they come down to City Hall, they are not really putting out the information because they are not putting the information in the African American community like they should. When I'm talking about our media sources, our new papers that we have, they got internet. They don't even post it on internet sites for African Americans in Jacksonville. But still, there's opportunity for African Americans from the website, from the COJ website, to see what's going on. But you can attend the meetings. Let me say it again. You can attend the meetings, and you can't advocate to be heard. That's the law. So once again, when I be reaching out to my people, a lot of things is going on in the African American community. And once again, it's self-inflicted. We have poor leadership. It is what it is. Now, what are we going to do about it? That's my concern here. It's not always, you can't control everything that happened to you, but how you react to it make all the difference. And in the African American community in Jacksonville, Florida, we are reactive. We're not proactive. When it comes to the things that matter in our community, in our city, our state. Very important. The people that's holding African Americans back these days and time. Let me say it again. These days and time, the people that's holding African Americans back look like us, look like me, look like you. Think about it. We are not civic engaged in the community, in City Hall. So when something happened to us, you can't blame nobody but us. Especially when you have someone like me that's fighting every day for my people and putting information out. Yes, putting the information out. And when I say put the information out, not my information, the city of Jacksonville information, what's available to African Americans. When it comes to meetings, I don't meet with my people anymore like I used to, because when they have these meetings for an hour and a half, they're just for them to get your name on paper so they can take it back and get the nonprofit dollars. Let me say it again. They just want you on the paper, your numbers. They're not really concerned about you, because there's no way possible to get any work done once a month for an hour with all the pathology that you have in there in the urban core of the African American community. Let me put that out there. The urban core African American community. Africans are all over Jacksonville. And we don't have the same income level. We don't have the same quality of life. We're not monolithic people in Jacksonville. Now, when it comes to our civil rights, we need to be monolithic. Let me see, when it comes to our civil rights, we need to be monolithic. All right. We represent one vote. Right now, democracy. Whether Biden president, somebody else the president, I'm talking, yes, long they addressing number one, democracy. We ain't addressing no party, no president. We don't care about that at this point. At this point, we only talk about democracy. Our rights. This is about our rights. It's about African American rights. And if we show up in numbers like we supposed to, we show up, we can make a difference. We have enough numbers in America, African American, to make an impact. To make a big impact. So get away from that party stuff, Democrat, Republicans. We don't care about that. If you're African American, it's not about no party, no president. We are talking about our rights, our ancestors' blood, sweat, and tears. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the blood and sweat and tears of African people. Let me say it again. The blood, sweat, and tears of African American people. That's what we are voting for. Stay with me, because I know you know what I'm talking about. And everybody, if your friend need a ride, give them a ride. Yes. If your friend needs a few dollars to catch the bus, give them the money so they can go vote. There's no excuse. Help each other out. Yes. Your vote matters. And if you can vote early, go ahead on and vote and get it out of the way. And then you can take somebody else to the poll. Yes. Yeah, go. If you're in the position where you can vote early, go ahead on and vote. But on voting day, you need to come back after you go to work. If you don't have to work, pick up somebody, go early, get your little breakfast, and take somebody breakfast and go voting. That's a good thing. That's what we must do. That's what we shall do on voting day. Because we're voting for our ancestors. There was a time when people used to kill our people Now they still some still do today, but I'm talking about they can snatch you at any given time and put charges on you, on our people, and then put them put them back in slavery with the prison system, because that's what it is. Prison system is slavery. So it's very important that we understand what's going on here, people. It's very important that if you need to reach out, I'll be here. Feel free to reach out. It's easy to reach out to me. But I need people to show up in those committee meetings. And really all you have to do is pick one. And really the rules committee and neighborhood, especially, it should be 5 or 6 women in the African American women talking about the neighborhood meeting, which is twice a month in City Hall. Now, why sisters and brothers not up in there talking about the neighborhood, especially these days and time? Especially these days and time, there's opportunity, there's money being spent, millions and millions of dollars. Now they talking about almost spending $2 billion, and don't want to get the east side. Really, the urban core. We'll talk about that later, because that's really, they should be spending $30 million to invest in the urban core every year. $30 million. We'll talk about that later. But right now, the most important thing that my people need to understand, we're voting for democracy. Number 2, we must embrace each other as family. We can do that. We can do that. That ain't nothing we haven't done before. Many times. I'll be coming back, because I'm right now, I'm reaching out to urban intellectuals. Urban intellectuals. You can pull it up on Facebook and through our social media. Urban intellectuals. If you can join. But that's who I'm going to be reaching out to. I like the temperament of the CEO, and he open-minded. I can give him that. I call it a spade. He's a good man, so we reach out to him, and he sharing that information through history, traveling over to Africa often, not once a year, often. They go to different parts of Africa all the time. That's right. And it's reasonable for you to go over to the motherland. It's reasonable. We have quite a few African Americans made good money. And when I say good money, like in Jacksonville, I would say anywhere from 40. Well, really, I say 30. If you got 30, I'm talking about net now. I'm talking about 30 net. There's a difference between gross and net. I'm talking about net. That's after taxes. You net 30 to 200,000 for most African Americans. Most gonna be on the low end, close to the 30, but still, especially if it's 2 people, right? Man and woman, 2 people working together, saving their money, making the moves. You get the opportunity, go to Africa. Don't go with that narrative, because Africa, 54 country, beautiful. 54 nations, 54 countries. Many different parts. Go to Africa. Give a different perspective on life. Then come back here. Come back to America and get involved in cooperative economics, collective economics. Let's see, co-op, right? Economics. collective economics. Same thing. Where two or more people come together, right? And it's a combination thing, ain't just one thing. When you talk about business, it's a combination thing. So you bring your different skills together and build. We're not doing that, people. The individual proposition situation must stop in business. Do the numbers say almost 90% of African Americans in business only have one employee. The owner. That's not the way you build. We'll talk about that later, because like I say, it's feel good. I had to clean that body out. I had to clean my gut out. Yes, my whole body. Open my body up. See, cause that's, yes, it feel good. They have that unnecessary weight off you. That's where too, preventative things you can do for yourself, right there in your home. Yes, and it's not expensive. If people make it seem, or you hear people say, it's not expensive. Because a lot of the food that you be eating, you don't need to be eating. Get your apple, get you some oranges. Yes, that's what I do. Just make you feel better, make it easy for you to move, be comfortable, sleep good. I sleep like a champ. Work up on time too. So when it comes to the African American community, really we're only dealing with 4 pillars. The 4 pillars, right? Rebuilding the African American family, number 1. Rebuilding the family. Rebuilding the family infrastructure. Number 2, Afrocentric education. As soon as mama spit them out, we start educating them. That's right, as a baby. That means the music you play. That's right, when the baby's around, you play the baby music. What? Educate the baby. They say classical music is what I heard, but we got plenty of music. We got the beat. We control the beat. And once we realize that, that's another conversation. But once we realize who we are, a lot of things will fall in line. But going back, we're talking about the Afrocentric education. We're talking about the art, history. Now, when it comes to history, we want the past and the present histories. Stop that with that. Always in the past. What happened in the past? Well, learn from it and bring it into the future, into the present. It was a good thing. Bring it forward. Number 3, preventive health. Now, I just talked about that. What you can do for yourself. Go in that refrigerator, clean that refrigerator out of all that stuff, crap in there. Not good for your family. Yeah, eat some apples, some oranges, pears. Share it with other people. Take it to lunch. Then when you go into work, you be thinking better. You be feeling better. You make a difference, people. And number 4, that's where I'm a subject matter when it comes to collective economics. Putting nickels and dimes together to make quarters. Right. As an elder, I'm telling my people, you can put your nickel and dime together to make quarters for everybody involved. It doesn't make a difference who make the most money, long as the money is fair. Let me see that. As long as the money is fair. Make sure we understand that. And be willing to do a bit more than what you're getting paid for. That's another thing with my people. I'll be addressing, because like I said, I'm feeling better here and I'm ready to get back to work. Yes, because I love my people. Let me say again, I love African people. I'm a little disappointed with quite a few of them at the present time. but we family. But getting back to collective economics, what we can do is come together. Not all of us. I'm talking about for the entrepreneurs out here. Stop working by yourself. Stop that. That's what's killing us. There's many opportunities for African Americans. Get away from that. Now, it's very important. Get away from that wealth gap. Make sure you get your money. And you go online and research and find out exactly what you should be getting paid and ask for that. Too often when African Americans go in the boardroom, well, I ain't gonna say you maybe in HR, when you go to HR, you don't know what you're worth. You just be happy to get a job and don't know what you're worth. So how do you know what to ask for? That's a good question. How do you know? You do your research? So that's what happens a lot of time when African Americans don't get paid. It ain't always about racism. Everything is not about racism. You can't go in there talking about racism when you haven't did your homework. You just don't know. And the people who realize that they don't know and make the changes, gonna be all right. Because there's a lot of stuff I don't know. Let me put it out there. That's right. It's a lot I don't know. And I read all the goddamn time. But anyway, the main point is that we understand that we got work to do. It ain't gonna take a long time and all that. Now we can knock this thing out here 2 to 5 years and be back on track. We are some powerful people. Once we get organized. A. Philip Randolph, the great organizer. Let me say it again. A. Philip Randolph, East Side. I'm reaching out to the East Side because we need to have a talk, and you got to stop hating on your own people too. At least hear them out. We the only people in America that kill the messenger before we get the message. Let me say that again, because I'm slow, we the only people in America that kill the messenger before we get the message. But anyway, I'm going to be reaching out. Stanley Scott here with the African American Economic Recovery Think Tank. I send out much love to the African American community all around the world. Thank you.